To Tell Me Yours, the interactive sports opinion show where me, the casual fan, opines his opinion with you, the casual fan. So, this was a very interesting week of sports, and there were a lot of things that went down this weekend. So, let me give you and start with this. You know, the college football playoffs. Four teams in, and the rest of us just salivating at ways to get in. Uh, the four best teams that this college committee selected were Clemson, Alabama, Oklahoma, and Georgia. So those are the four teams that are going to be battling out for the college championship. You know, most people would think that would be inconspicuous, being that Clemson and Alabama, the first two teams to play each other, were the last two teams to play each other the following year, which resulted in Clemson beating Alabama for the national championship. So a lot of us think, well, why is that fair? Why is that Alabama, who, by the way, have made the playoffs every year since this damn thing has begun, you know, that program, like I said in my earlier episode, it's a well-funded and connected program. You can expect them to win 12 games or 11 games every year just about, and it's not their fault that they're just that damn good. You know whose fault it is? It's the rest of you. It's the rest of college teams' fault because they just don't schedule hard teams. They don't schedule these teams to play to help their and pump up their resume so that when a team like Ohio State, who by the way plays in the Big Ten just had an awful, awful year. I mean, what started out as a very promising year for the Big Ten ended in disaster. You had an undefeated Wisconsin team, which, by the way, I knew would not, play Ohio State and beat them because Wisconsin is just undersized. They just don't have the playmakers. They just don't have the talent. So Wisconsin being undefeated, Penn State being undefeated for as long as they did, and the way Penn State flailed at the end. Michigan State had no chance. Michigan fell from grace. Ohio State fell from grace. And I'll tell you another thing too. If you are Urban Meyer at Ohio State, you probably have your eye on this Florida State job now that Jimbo Fisher took his talent and went to College Station. So if you're Urban Meyer, you probably need to see the writing on the wall, which is as big as a program Ohio State is, the Big Ten will never be as competitive as the other power conference schools. Now there's an opening at Florida State. Urban Meyer, you made your bones being the head coach of Florida, winning 2 national championships in Florida. So you being the head coach at Florida State makes all the sense in the world. The reason why is because you know recruiting there. You are a big name. You're going to bring Florida State back to its prominence. I think that's the mark for you because then the ACC is so winnable, it's not even funny that you will for sure punch your ticket to the playoffs and have this chance to compete for a championship. So I'd like to see that happen. As far as other teams like Wisconsin goes, and I truly tell you, Wisconsin, please recruit better, also schedule better. So now, with that being said, our 4 teams are set. They're ready to go. They're ready to rumble. UCF, I love you, but your Cinderella year definitely is done. Every year we get these smaller schools, the UCFs and the Central Michigans that go undefeated and unnoticed, but largely so because they don't play anybody. I think this all AD should learn from this message and this lesson, which is schedule your teams somebody to play if you want to be and rumble with the big boys. Okay? So that's my thought about college football. Now let's talk about the pros. The NFL. Let me tell you something. That cream is starting to rise to the top. The good teams are starting to come to the top. I mean, you have Minnesota 10-2, Philadelphia 10-2. You have the Saints at 9-3, the Rams at 9-3, the Vikings at 8. The Seahawks rather at 8-4. The good teams are rising to the top. And I gotta tell you something. I'm a little bit suspicious about this whole Aaron Rodgers coming back to the Packers thing. It's going to take one more loss, I believe, because the Packers right now are at 6-6. But they play Cleveland next. I'm not sure what the thinking is behind this. Is it because, he just wants to come back for pride? This Packers team hasn't shown me anything. And I'm not sure if you're Aaron Rodgers, who, by the way, just turned 34 years old. Why would you come back from a broken collarbone to a possible 9-17 that has no chance of beating any of these teams that I just mentioned? And they're all in the NFC, by the way. The teams that I just mentioned, the Vikings, the Eagles, the Seahawks, the Rams, the Saints, they're in the NFC. Do you think if at Green Bay you can really beat one of these teams in the playoffs? You are sadly mistaken. No way, no how, no chance. And I'm from Wisconsin, so, I'm definitely going to hear a lot back from my people in Wisconsin. I expect to. But the NFL, the cream is starting to rise to the top. I mean, who amongst us will ever doubt that the Patriots aren't going to go back to the Super Bowl? I mean, my goodness, what they're drinking over there, I'm telling you, the league needs to subscribe to. That's greatness over there. Look, the Patriots, you have my blood. I quit. I quit rooting against you. I quit hating on you. Especially after what you did last year. You showed me that you are a worthy champion to be respected. So the NFL is shaping out to be what the NFL really is, which is the good teams that are rising to the top and the mediocre ones that are falling down to the bottom. So that's the one, good thing about this time of year right now for the NFL. Speaking of the NFL, the New York Giants. Good old Mac and Reese, which is Ben McAdoo and Jerry Reese, the GM. Both of them are fired, justifiably so. What they have done to the Giants, this proud organization, has been nothing short of disgraceful. What they have done and how they treated Eli Manning is nothing short other than disgraceful. So they deserve what they get. Jerry Reese, you deserve to be fired for many other reasons besides not drafting well. But even hiring a coach to replace the Hall of Famer in Tom Coughlin with a unnamed, unproven coach in McAdoo, giving him the power. This guy didn't even know what he was doing. His brilliance is smart enough to say, well, Eli Manning, you've been the franchise for this great, proud organization. Let me, in my wisdom, decide to play other people, and it's just not going to work. It's just awful. You've done a terrible service. So listen, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. One thing before we leave here, because our time is winding down here, I'd like to talk about Tiger Woods. Most of us who know Tiger Woods and seen him grow up in the 2000s, we saw nothing but excellence and greatness from him. It's good to see that he's back. He may not have won the tournament, but to shoot a 8 under, this weekend was phenomenal, and I was honored to watch Tiger Woods. So Tiger Woods, we are all proud to see you back. Good for all of us. Good for the sport of golf. Well, with that being said, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. All your responses will be reheard and read to you on Wednesday. Wednesday is my response show to you, my people, my fans. So those are a few of my opinions. Now tell me yours.